Joe Biden and Kamala Harris would bury the economy under an avalanche of red tape, more regulation, and more bureaucracy. In fact, the California senator that he named as his running mate this week said during her short campaign for president that Americans needed to be, and I quote, educated about the effect of our eating habits on our environment. Senator Kamala Harris said she would change the dietary guidelines of this country to reduce the amount of red meat Americans can eat.
Okay, pause it. Okay, we got to talk about this for a minute, and then we can play some more of it. So let's give our listeners a little bit more context. So Kamala Harris, for those of you who are not in the U.S. listening, has been chosen as Joe Biden, who is the Democratic presidential candidate, as his running mate, the first ever female black woman to be a vice presidential candidate. Well, first of all, I guess not a little, but congrats to Kamala Harris. But anyways, this whole video was Mike Pence talking about when she was running for president. When would that have been, Jared? Last November? Maybe?
Oh, yeah.
I think so, in the primaries, right? Or something like that. So last November.
They're talking about how nasty she was to Joe Biden as well, too.
And the Trump campaign has used nasty for them. They've used it for Hillary Clinton. I saw a really funny meme that was Kamala Harris, Hillary Clinton, I forget the third woman, but they all said nasty, and then the one that's somehow related to the whole Epstein scandal, good woman. And she's in jail or something, I guess, or who knows. Right. But yeah, it's funny stuff. But anyways, keep playing that, Jared.
All right. Come on. This is why I never use YouTube on my phone, by the way.
Well, I've got some red meat for you. We're not going to let Joe Biden and Kamala Harris cut America's meat.
There you go.
We will not let them cut America's meat.
That's a firm stance, but I respect that you're willing to put such a firm stance out there and make it known to people that you stand by that stance and you won't let anyone get a hold of your meat without you getting it in your mouth first. Now, I hope I can find this because
just the way he says red meat in there, it's just so funny. Who would have thought, Jared? Who would have thought?
All right, see, hold on. I should have been more prepared. All right. I gotta find it.
What
do you? I'll find it. It. It's on Twitter. I'll tell you about it first. I'll set it up. Have you heard of a fella named Ben Shapiro?
Yeah. Oh, I think I know where you're going with this. Maybe.
Have you?
I think I know exactly where you're going with this.
He has a popular, I guess, YouTube show and podcast or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is. Where he'll, talk about conservative values and issues.
And he's going to read the lyrics, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes, please play this. Okay. This is hilarious.
Hold on. By the way, I've been around my house. I've just been saying, I've just been saying these certified freaks 7 day a week. Are there whores in? Sorry.
Are there whores in this house? Are there?
Here are some of the lyrics. You ready? Whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. Hold up. I said certified freaks 7 days a week.
Oh my
Wet
God.
Ass P-word. Make that pull-out game weak. Yeah, you effin' with some wet ass P-word. P-word is female genitalia. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet ass P-word. Give me everything you got for this wet ass P-word. Beat it up, N-word. Catch a charge. Extra large and extra hard. Put this P-word right in your face. Swipe your nose like a credit card. Hop on top, I want to ride. I do a Kegel while it's inside.
Oh my
Spit
God.
in my mouth, look in my eyes. This P-word is wet. Come take a dive.
Oh my God.
It continues along these.
So yeah.
Oh dear Lord.
I certified freak. I've just been walking around my house like all week, just being like, "There's some whores in this house." There's some whores in this house.
In this house. Oh my gosh.
I said certified freak. Oh my God. So
Ben Shapiro is a very conservative political. What would you call him? A pundit or a talk show host or a What would you call him?
Yeah, he's like a podcaster. YouTube.
Yeah.
He has like a YouTube show, but it's essentially like a podcast that he just videotapes.
Right.
So yeah, he apparently he wasn't aware that these P words can get wet. And so
yeah, and didn't he ask his wife about it?
Who is a gynecologist. And I think she
That's
might.
kind of
it
ironic.
seems like she was the first one to inform him that they are intended to get wet. When the whores are in the house, the P words get wet.
I thought she said she told him the other way around.
What did she tell him?
I thought she said that I forget what I saw something on Twitter that said that.
All I know is he had to refer to his gynecologist wife to confirm that these P words could in fact get wet.
Well, it clearly goes to show he's probably not on his best game, if you know what I'm saying. But, you know, I guess it is what it is, you know.
Listen, I'm not here to throw any shots.
I just threw it.
There's some whores in this house. I've just been saying that all week. Oh, my gosh. It's so fun to say, though. I do really enjoy that.
It's just so ridiculous to hear his voice and him saying that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, of course. I
His
said
wet
certified
ass
freak.
P word.
7 days a week.
Also, why is it that ass is okay, but pussy isn't?
I was actually wondering that, too. Yeah, where's the line?
Yeah. Why?
But he doesn't say the N word, which is nice, I guess. I appreciate that. He doesn't say the F word also.
Right. I wonder if it has to do with YouTube monetization and stuff.
Oh,
Probably
maybe.
could be.
Because it does kind of seem like TV rules, you know?
Right.
Let's get this theme song going real quick, dude.
Let's do it.
And then we'll really get into this.
I think that's a great plan, Jared. Coming in hot, but that's how we like it, Jared. Sometimes you just gotta come in hot.
There's some whores in this house.
That was pretty good. I thought you were playing that from your phone for a second. Oh, jeez. Certified freak. I can't do his voice. Oh, man. Maybe that's a good thing, though. Hello and welcome to the Untranslatable podcast. We are here recording episode 225, and today we are going to talk about some great nature destinations, some countries we thought had some great nature for hiking. If you're into mountain biking, I know Jared's going to bring some expertise on the mountain biking side. You see how I didn't say facts and I said expertise? You know, trying to change things up a little bit here at the Untranslatable podcast, not only for you guys out there, you folks, but also for Jared. So we're going to talk about some nature because I'm going to be honest, we're getting to fall now in Michigan, and pretty soon it's going to be very beautiful, and it's going to be time to put on our hoodies, maybe some comfy sweats as well if you're really trying to go on a nice, relaxed, casual hike, and go for a nice walk on a nature trail. So, and there are some good spots in Michigan, plenty of great spots all over the world, so we're going to talk about some of our favorites today. So without further ado, my partner in crime and my good buddy Jared, what is going on, Jared?
Hello. See, my first critique would be, and like I'm not an expert, you know
more than me. You know more than me. So
I mean,
to
relatively
me, you are an
speaking,
expert.
I'm an expert in mountain biking. If it's
in this
if you're
room,
the
you are the
baseline.
expert. So right now,
yes,
I am the baseline.
I'm an
so
expert.
There you go.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's fair. What were you just talking about? Oh yeah.
Nature
it's
places.
interesting. You really threw me off.
Sorry.
No. You threw me off when you said that fall's coming up and it's the perfect time to be hiking. Look outside right
Actually,
now. It's
it is
gorgeous right now. It's been
That's
gorgeous
true.
all summer.
That is true.
Honestly,
but summer's gone. We got to help our listeners for the future.
I don't think summer's gone yet. Isn't the last day of summer like at the end of September? Isn't it like September 20 something?
Maybe so. So we still got some summer left.
I think I'm bothered by these people that are like it's already over. Where I'm like, I feel like we're in the peak of it right now, you know, and we're disregarding the peak because we're like, oh, it's coming to an end. Granted, I will say this: Michigan does peak fast, and we peak hard.
That's true. I think we've already reached the peak. I think the peak was maybe a week or 2 weeks ago. It got really hot a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
I think that could have been the
You
peak.
mean the peak of summer?
Yes.
Meaning just the hottest
The
day.
heat, yes.
So essentially kind of like a day, it hit noon and now it's in the going to sleep part of the day.
Yeah.
Going down part of the
Hot.
Yeah.
Spicy.
Now maybe that's true. I feel like August and September though, like it sneaks up. It can sneak up on you. I feel like.
I guess you know why I associate August with fall?
Why is that?
When the school year starts.
Oh, yeah.
That's why.
Mm-hmm.
As a teacher, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm looking, and, I've already started my work for the university.
That's fair, yeah.
So I feel like it's already kind of fall, but it is still summer. You're right, Jared.
Have you seen all the commotion that has been going back to school recently?
Yeah, and I think a lot of it's warranted and fair.
You saw the one girl, I believe it was in Georgia, who took a
Yep.
picture in the hallway, and she got suspended.
Yes, she did.
Just because, by the way, shout out to her, I guess I should say.
Yeah, we gave her a shout out, I think, 3 episodes ago.
Oh, we did? Mm-hmm. In that case,
double
forget
shout
that.
out. Hey.
Follow us on Instagram, Untranslatable Podcast. Follow us on Twitter, Untranslatable1, the number 1.
Numero uno.
5-star reviews on iTunes and Stitcher. Thank you, Amarens from Untranslatable.co
Absolutely.
and Foreign Language Collective. Always a blast to have Amarens join the pod. It was a good time.
Absolutely.
And we really had an untranslatable palooza, and and having her there also helped me not take untranslatables for granted in a weird way because
good.
because
have you gained a new appreciation for
we
them?
talk about
in a way?
and she's good too. She's because she
great.
has a lot of experience with them, so she's good.
Yeah.
But like. Because we talked about them more, and I feel like sometimes maybe we get into a routine here where we just go through them, but we don't really
Right.
talk about them as much. And it was nice
Sure.
to get more into like the deep into it. I don't want to say the science, the facts, as Chad would
Sure.
say.
Right, exactly.
It was a good time. I enjoyed it. So,
It was. It definitely was. Yeah, check that out. Some good Dutch ones. Absolutely.
Do you want to?
I do. Yeah, I have a couple shout outs
to the pod.
today.
I have
Yeah.
one too, actually. You can go first though, please, because you have a couple. I only have one.
All right. My first one, Jared, actually, it's funny. I do enjoy a beer once in a while, but since I've been back in Michigan, I haven't really. I've had a couple beers. I think I've gone to, when I went to the grocery store months ago, I had a couple beers, and I haven't had any beers since. Which, the reason why I say this is some people, their drinking has gone up quite a bit since this has happened. Some people, it's gone down. Mm-hmm. Really depends on how you drink. If you
Fast.
like to, fast.
Deliberately.
Exactly. But, a lot of countries have been having issues because they have had a surplus of beer and not enough people have been drinking it. So what Australia, yes. Yeah, Czech Republic, Germany.
Australia?
Yeah. And so what Australia has done, so beer unsold during Australia's coronavirus lockdown has been turned into renewable energy. Listen to this, Jared. So when the Australia coronavirus lockdown forced bars and restaurants to shut down in March, breweries were left with huge inventories of unsold stale beer. So what do? Do you throw it away? Do you
feed it to animals?
Get them shit-faced? Yeah, what do you do? But instead of going to waste some expired ales and lagers in the state of South Australia, Australia might have been serving a new purpose, powering a water treatment plant at the, so
they can turn beer back into water?
I don't know. Let's see. Let's find out.
Okay.
Let's find out. According to...
Or extract the water from it,
right.
I guess I should say.
According to Glenelg Wastewater Treatment Plant to the west of the state capital of Adelaide, millions of liters of unused beer from local breweries have been converted into renewable energy to power. So, yeah, I'm assuming that... So, the plant mixes organic industrial waste with sewage and sludge to produce biogas, which is then turned into electricity to power the whole facility. It usually generates enough biogas to provide about 80% of its energy needs. But the recent influx of beer has boosted its energy generation to new levels, reaching 654 megawatt hours in a single month. I'm not really sure what that even means, Jared, but sounds good.
A lot of energy.
A lot of energy in a month. Yeah, good. And so by adding around 150,000 liters of expired beer per week, we generated a record of 3,055 and 200 cubic meters of biogas in May. So basically,
that can lower their dependency on dirtier forms of energy.
It seems like it.
By finding another way to process this beer.
Seems like it, but I think it's great they're using they're renewing they're using the beer in a renewable way.
Yeah, because like we actually here in the U.S. I know we've had some food issues as well.
Yep.
And like it was in the news a couple months ago, but like with all the potatoes and vegetables that they were just throwing away because they had a surplus, and obviously there's the obvious was like, well, why don't you save at least save a fraction of it and feed a lot of people that don't have access to meals, but like, no, we'll just throw it away. So did you see that the UK, they're getting back to partying? This is the picture.
I've seen it, and I've seen the article.
I think that this should be the future of festivals. So
First of all, explain the picture,
right.
Jared.
So the UK is doing a socially distant music festival. The picture is fantastic. I have a link, link, and then it'll bring up an article.
Boom. Bada bing, bada boom.
But usually I would do that beforehand, and not right now. But anyway.
And the site can't be reached.
That's hilarious. Anyway, they're doing a socially distant music festival, and there's these little metal platforms that are probably, how big would you say that is? 10 by 10, maybe a little less than that.
I think you could probably
8 by 8.
You could fit 4, 5, 6 people on those, and they're like risers in a field.
Yeah, it's probably lifted up off the ground by about 4 or 5 feet. Foot. No, not 4 feet. That's not 4 feet.
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
it's probably lifted up by like a foot.
Yeah,
but and I bet you, like, if it was better planned out in the future, or maybe they do even here, you could probably even maybe somehow get bigger one. Oh, I guess there's a reason why you can't. Yeah. But I thought maybe if it's a group of, I don't know. Anyway, so everyone has their own separate little thing where you can hold probably up to 4 or 5 people. It's probably the max, and it's just in grids in this giant field, and then there's a giant screen, and then obviously a stage where people are performing. And it doesn't look like they're wearing masks either, but I mean they are separated from each other. Maybe once you leave the zone, you have to put a mask on. I bet you that would be what it is. I love it when people text during a podcast.
Sorry, I mean I had a call coming in. Do you want
That's
me to?
Okay.
Yeah.
Ignore it. Kind of yes.
Sorry. All right. Anyways. All right. Okay. Sorry. Good. So I do think it is interesting, the idea of making the pods a bit bigger.
This would make me want to go to music festivals more than I would want to now.
Right. For sure. Yeah.
And also, if this wasn't a pandemic time, you could still have this, but it would still be a fun way to like you could still interact with people and hang out with people and go to other people's squares if you want, I guess. But also have your own home base, or is it like you concerned with like someone just coming and kicking you off your square?
Yeah,
I don't think that really happens.
I think the whole point of these pod thingies is that you're not interacting with a bunch of random people.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that I like it now because of that, but I'm saying even post-pandemic, it could give people like their own spot, but then also allow people to mingle throughout. But I think this is great, and this is how I would like to do concerts from here on out for myself personally.
Yeah, I mean,
especially festivals, I should say, not concerts.
Right. I mean, it looks like it looks a lot safer too,
and they look pretty sturdy. Those things that they're on. I mean, the chairs are kind of crappy, but yeah, and I bet you, I imagine they have a mask policy once you're out of your zone.
Well, and the other thing too, to give some context to our listeners out there, it's completely outdoors as well, which
gigantic.
Helps. And it looks like, I would say that these little riser things are probably at least 6 feet apart, at least.
Yeah, probably.
I would say.
Probably about 6 feet apart, yeah.
I mean, it's in a giant field.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And also, I bet you, think about this, it's probably a lot harder to get lost, because I'm sure there's some sort of numbering system on these.
Oh, that's a good point.
And it's all just grids.
And if there's not, there should be.
Right. It should just be like one way is going A's through Z, the other way, Z, excuse me. Or the other way is going,
and then
the other way is going,
whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you could never get lost.
Right. Yeah,
people
that's
still
a good
would,
idea.
let's be honest. But theoretically, it should make it easy to find your spot.
Yeah, I mean, people are, at these concerts, they might be drinking and stuff, so they could still get lost. You never know. But I do think it's a great idea.
I got lost on an airplane one time. I couldn't find my seat.
Oh, it's hard out here in these streets, Jared.
I found it. Let's be clear.
Right. Well, you remember when you woke up in the wrong bed in college?
All right, Chad, come on. What's your next shout out? What do you?
I was just teasing you. All right, my next shout out, goes out to. Well, I don't really know who to give this one to, Jared, but I think this is just great for a lot of people. I don't know if you've heard about this, but free internet is coming for about 35,000 Philly families, cities,
back.
schools. Comcast is about to spend $17 million on digital equity plan. So they're going.
Comcast is based in Philadelphia.
Is it? Okay. Yeah. So they're going to spend all this money, which I think is great, and provide broadband internet through people. And they're also going to receive wireless hotspots purchased by the city from T-Mobile. So I think this is great because I don't know what the situation is with schools in Philly. I guess I should have done my homework.
Interesting. It's like a partnership between T-Mobile and Comcast.
Seems like it, yeah. Which makes sense.
I've actually heard that. I saw this just on the internet the other day that T-Mobile actually has some of the most loyal customers.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I've heard really good things about their company. Actually,
I had them for the longest time. I switched to AT&T. I mean, it's been a while now, but like for the most of my life, even in Europe, I had T-Mobile.
Right. Yeah. I
still respect you, T-Mobile. Shout out.
So
maybe
yes.
one day I'll be back. You're looking good.
So there we go.
You're looking good.
But yeah, I think this is just really great. I think other companies need to really look into this because I really. It makes me sad, Jared, that we are in the second week of August now. I think.
Yeah.
And schools still, some are reopening and some still they're kind of wavering. Okay. Oh, is it? Okay, I think we're still good. Sorry about that. But I worry that we've waited so long to make some of these decisions. It's going to be a very difficult to make the switch again. I mean, I had
difficult to make the switch again
back to online. If they start in person, and then. Because some schools have already had to quarantine their students.
It's not even that it would be difficult. It's just unnecessary.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, to go online for a couple months, I think is a smart risk to consider if, but we need accessibility.
I mean, that's the
internet
risk.
Accessibility.
Yeah.
Also, though, the other issue, this whole thing has shown our issue with childcare.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the other thing is how do these, especially younger kids, how will they receive childcare?
Especially if these parents are essential workers,
right? Yeah,
and they're like, and I've heard through podcasts and other stuff that like parents are in a weird situation too because it's like, obviously there's a risk of COVID, but it's like, yeah, but I work, and like school is essentially my babysitter for the day,
right?
And like it's difficult to manage both, and so I'm gonna send them back to school, and it's like, ugh. Good luck.
Yeah. Exactly.
Good luck.
Exactly. So anyway, shout out to Comcast and T-Mobile for doing this, and all the people in Philly who've worked, to make this happen as well.
I think I'm starting to miss Philly a little bit.
Nothing wrong with that.
Missing city life,
Nothing wrong with that. I kind of like this country life, man. I kind of like it.
You do?
That's just me. Yeah. I don't mind living in a city, but
this is where you enjoy spending the. Like if ideally this is where you'd spend like the prime years of your life, which are I guess like now.
Maybe. Yeah. Huh. I mean, here I am, aren't I? I could
but
move
not
if
really
I wanted
voluntarily.
to. Yeah, but I could move if I really wanted to.
That's fair.
I mean, I could afford it.
Let's do some Untranslatable.
But yeah, let's do it. So due to
I'm just surprised. I didn't.
Right.
I didn't realize that you would. I don't picture you as a country boy.
Well, I guess I'm close enough to the city here.
That's fair. Yeah.
But it's quiet.
And you got a
That's
good
where
city
I like
too.
it.
Very close.
Yeah. Yeah. Ann Arbor's not too bad. All right. So my first untranslatable for today, and for those of you who don't know, you should know, especially if you tuned into our last episode featuring Amarans. But an untranslatable is a word, idiom, or phrase in another language, and we, as certified untranslatable professionals, come to decipher them for your listening or viewing pleasure if you're watching this on YouTube right now.
Talk that calf out of that heifer.
That's that. You're darn tootin'. You are darn tootin', Jared. So I will get us started with a Dutch untranslatable. Shout out to Amarens for being on last episode. And it is Nu breekt mijn klomp.
I don't know any of those words.
Now my wooden shoe is breaking.
You're on my last nerve. Like you're getting on my last nerve.
That's a good guess, but I don't think that's what this means.
Is it like someone's getting old? They're reaching the
no, it's more
final stages of life.
No, for example, I just had someone try to video call me, which was and I could say now my wooden shoe is breaking.
Oh, it's like I'm busy.
No, to be surprised.
Oh, surprised.
To be surprised.
Oh, okay.
Or
okay.
amazed or surprised. Yeah, I wasn't expecting a phone call. I was surprised.
Oh, okay. My wooden shoe is breaking.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you can't have someone sneak up behind you and you turn around fast on a wooden shoe.
Right.
First of all, terrible idea for a shoe, really, right?
Wooden shoes, I guess. I don't know. Are they durable? Maybe they are. I've never worn clogs. They're probably not comfortable.
I was going to say, is it worth it?
I have no idea.
My first untranslatable is Spanish, and it's hinchar los codos.
Which means?
Nail the elbows. So hinchar is Hincar. That would be hinchar.
Oh, hincar.
Hinchar los codos, I believe, is actually what it should be.
Okay.
And nail the elbows.
Is this to punish someone?
More of yourself, in a way.
To be ashamed?
Nail your elbows.
To cry.
When are your elbows? That's actually a good, but that's not it.
Okay.
But I like where your head's going.
Okay.
But think about times in your life where you've had to really nail your elbows to
work hard. Not give up. Persevere.
You're right. Yes.
Yeah.
But work hard. More specifically, what are you working hard in when you're really
working out?
Think about
physical.
No, when you're nailing your elbows. Nail the elbows.
Are you writing?
Yeah, I like where you're going. I like where you're going.
Writing.
It's like when you hit the books. It's like when you're like working
studying.
hard, like schoolwork.
Oh, to study. To study.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
I like that.
Nail your elbows.
Yeah, it makes
to the
sense.
Table.
Well, see, that's kind of. I was thinking like if you're sad, you were crying, you could do that. But
that's why I knew where you were going with that.
Right. Yeah. Nail the elbows. That makes sense. All right. I got another Dutch one for you. This is a good one. We zullen dat vergentje wel even wassen, which means we will certainly get that piglet washed.
That sounds like something like a mafia boss say. We'll certainly get that piglet washed, and it's like you're gonna kill my. I don't know. We'll certainly get that piglet washed. It's like we won't miss we'll hit every nook and cranny.
Good guess.
Come on, Chad.
I'm looking up. I'm going to look up a Chinese untranslatable. I'm looking up a Chinese untranslatable.
Okay, I'm sorry. I get nervous. I get nervous.
I understand, but no, this is podcast related. I'm looking up because there was
That's
one
okay.
on here. Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
So wait, what did you say? Sorry. What? Now I forgot what.
We have to get the. We will certainly get that piglet washed.
Oh yeah. It seems almost like a threat for some reason.
No. You say
it's like we'll get right to it. It's like
basically.
Okay,
or we'll get the job done.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like so like
we
maybe
will
like
take
your
care of it.
contractor would say this.
Okay. Yeah, we'll take care of it. We'll get the job done.
Okay.
Yeah.
My next one, and this is my last one. This is Cheyenne. Have you heard of the language Cheyenne? It's a Algonquin language.
Oh, cool. Okay, so Native American language.
Yes. And now there are accents over. I assume these. I don't know what these accents represent. To be honest with you, but I like the untranslatable. So please correct me if you can. Moneso taha en noche cosa.
Which means?
Are you still riding the goat?
You still?
Hey, Chad, are you still riding the goat?
Still riding the goat. What does? Is that like you still?
Oh man, let me say it like this. Still riding the goat. Or
like you're like you're still doing that thing that you said you weren't going to do.
What's that? What did I say I wouldn't do?
I don't know.
You're guessing. I thought. I thought.
No,
I thought you were asking me. I'm like, no. Right. What was this? No, that's not really it. Think of me as your friend saying. And don't even think about it like realistically, but just think about it in consideration. Like we're friends, hypothetically speaking. I mean, we are.
Hypothetically, right?
And I show up one day and I'm like still riding the goat, and then and you're like, yeah, it's been tough. What would riding the goat be?
Let's ask the untranslatable owl and find out.
Perfect timing.
What?
Okay.
Just give it to me.
Say it's relationship based. Still riding the goat.
Oh, are you still with your?
Yeah, like have you broken up with them yet? Are you still with them?
Okay, Interesting.
Still riding the goat.
Interesting.
Yeah.
My next that's a funny one. My next one for you is Chinese. That's why I was looking at my phone at the Laowai idioms, and it is dan ding.
You have it memorized? Wow, that's very impressive.
Well, it's 2 words. It's two characters.
Right.
And dan ding means egg butt.
Egg butt. Is that like someone that's sort of got like a juicy butt?
Okay. Well, if you have a big butt,
a juicy butt,
it's not always because you're in great shape, right?
Right. Oh, so it's like kind of like a lard ass almost.
I think it's like someone who's lazy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because it does kind of sound very insulting.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What was the literal again?
Egg butt.
Egg butt. Yeah. So it's kind of like a couch potato almost.
A little bit, I think.
Yeah. That's their version of a couch potato, I guess. I like that. You know, actually, speaking of couch potato, this pandemic and quarantine and whatnot has really made it clear to me how easy it is for me to become a couch potato, and how like I still have to very actively force myself to go out there and get after it, you know, and I'm constantly trying to find ways to do that. I've actually, for the past week, maybe not every single day, but a lot of days of the week. I need 2 hands to do it, so I can't do this right now. I've been playing soccer. I found.
Oh, nice.
I'm trying to think. I found 2 places, 3, but 2 really, 2 realistically, because 2 places where there are goals out.
Okay.
And if one is taken, the other one's probably not. And so what I do is I actually bike there. So I've been biking around a lot too.
Nice.
And I'm just trying to find ways to get outside more, you know?
That's good. How did biking feel on your legs the first couple days you did it?
I'm still sore, especially now that the soccer's added into it.
Right.
But the biking,
it's a good workout though.
The biking actually, weirdly, it never really got me too sore, but it still did take like I'm
tired
still
your legs out a little.
I'm
right?
still seeing like it coming back though. Like I can still see the progress happening. But there wasn't soreness. The soreness probably really kicked in when I played soccer. I almost got super nervous the other day that I might have effed up my shoulder. Right. I need to find my actual, as I was calling them, my boots, but my actual cleats.
Right.
As Americans call them. I hate the word cleats. It just sounds so American to me.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's an American word. That's probably why.
So they're somewhere in one of the boxes somewhere. But I've been using my Sambas, but I'm playing on grass.
It's better to have cleats.
Well, I ran in for a shot and I slipped and I fell on my shoulder. Ooh. And for a sec, I'm like, I just messed something up. Like this just turned bad.
Uh-oh.
But
is your shoulder all right?
It's still a little sore, but it's fine. But like,
still got full mobility.
It's just general body soreness, and it's from not just from that, just from everything.
Right.
But I miss that. You know, I miss it.
That's
and
fair.
And so I'm always looking for those. Have you been even taking in local nature here?
Not other than the nature in my surrounding here. No.
You live in a great area to go to. Like in Michigan is actually, in my opinion, and let me not say Michigan. That's a super broad generalization. Southeast Michigan, where we live, is not ideal for people into nature. There's a lot of good lake. Obviously, you have lakes galore, I would say.
A lot of rivers too.
Excuse me, and rivers.
A lot of rivers.
A lot of lakes and rivers. You can do a lot of lazy river activities.
Yep.
You can do a lot of lake activities. And so there's abundant beaches too. We're pretty good on beaches, even though they're lake beaches. Some people find lake beaches gross. But we don't have good terrain for like hiking.
Right.
And nature trails. Like we have some.
Right.
Like I mountain bike, and there are some little spots where you can go to and get a good workout in. But there's not really an abundance of just elevation and like for example, our friend Don, he lives in Colorado.
Oh, there's some great
Literally
hiking in Colorado.
Any direction he turns, he has access to like legitimate mountain ranges and legitimate like variety and hikes from like a deserty style to more like woods or something like that, and. That's something that I sort of always bums me out about Michigan.
I will say this, though. I think Michigan does have a lot of good woods. But that's a different kind of hiking. It's not the same kind of hiking.
And when I say Michigan, by the way, I guess I should clarify once again. It's really south. It's really where we live.
are. Yeah, that's
because
fair.
if you go more north, there's a little bit more
west.
elevation.
not elevation, but just beautiful nature.
There's a little more woods, I should say.
Right.
Yeah. And there's obviously more lake if you go to like the Lake Michigan side. Any lake.
One place I would love to check out nature-wise in the States is the Appalachian Mountains and the Appalachian Trail. Because, I mean, I've driven through there before when I've driven down to Florida many years ago.
Yeah.
And it's just gorgeous. I mean, those mountains, it is so stunning.
And it's an endless hike, too.
Yep.
And you can sort of start wherever you want to
Well, I mean, it takes months. If you do the full Appalachian Trail, it takes months to do it.
I wanted to, because I lived close to where it started or something. I lived close to some part of it because I lived in, Pennsylvania for a bit. And it was a sort of half-hearted goal to see some part of this trail. But I also thought that, like, I didn't do the proper research because I feel like it would require some sort of research because just going to, like, the quote-unquote trail seems very tricky unless you know where you're going, Because it's like, is it all just a full woods trail, like woods mountain hike? And so you go all the way from like Pennsylvania or something like that all the way down to what, like Virginia or something like that?
I think so, yeah.
Just using woods and the mountain trail?
Yeah. That's crazy.
Wow. That's
wild, isn't it?
I'd be willing to but it would take months to do the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't have time for that.
Right.
I don't think I'm going to be realistic with you until I like retire. I don't think there's ever going to be a moment where I'm going to have a ability to take months off.
Yeah, no.
That's just like a dream for most Americans that like
sure.
Cuz like you hear about Europeans that like do like a gap year or something like that, which is kind of becoming a thing here a little bit more.
I think it should be a thing really.
But like the idea of just taking time off to travel.
That would be a good episode idea.
What, gap years?
Gap years, yeah.
All right, write that down. Now, this is an untranslatable podcast approved text message that Chad is
now I can send you one, huh?
Also,
with the meat video.
In the title.
Red meat.
I got some red meat for you. In the title, put topic idea or episode, one of those two, because I go to the search bar in my text messages to find them and pick them out so I don't have to scroll through.
Red meat. Sorry, this is
so like the idea of taking like a month-long vacation to me is sort of like a pipe dream, a red meat dream, shall I say. Sort of an ideal trip for me, and it really in general, I feel like an ideal trip for me would be like a 2-week trip,
Right.
And so like I would love to do like maybe like a 2-week trip where you do like some sector of something like that. The thing is the camping.
Right.
How, Chad, do you feel about camping? Because we've been talking about camping a lot this summer, which you've let go by, as you've been saying every week. You've been thinking about camping.
Right. Yeah, so camping is great. The only thing with camping is you need to make sure you really plan it out. Unless if it's short, I think you have a lot more flexibility. If it's a couple days, okay. But if it's like if you're camping, especially if you're camping and hiking, I've never actually done that before, to be honest. And I have family that have done it and have gone to quite a few national parks and hiked quite a lot of it. But you need a team. I don't think you can. I think some people do a solo hike.
It seems a little dangerous and foolish to go by yourself,
especially your first time.
Big hike.
Exactly.
The closest I've gotten was when I went to the Smoky Mount. I always want to say Smoky Robinson, and I always trip up because I'm always like Smoky
Robinson, Smoky Mountains,
the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee and North Carolina. But the closest I got to that sort of camping and hiking was we hiked to the peak. I believe this is the peak in that sort of national park mountain range is the LeConte. I believe that's the overall peak there, and we hiked to the top of it, and we camped the night before, and we camped in the national park, but we drove literally like 5 to 10 minutes to the start of like the start of the hiking point, and like there's a little parking lot there, and then we started hiking. But we woke up at the way we actually did it. I don't know if I did tell you. I doubt you remember. That was a long time ago. But we camped there. And, just at a normal campsite where there's a bunch of people camping. We woke up at like 4:30 in the morning before the sun had even started rising. Because our goal in our head was to see the sunrise at the top.
Oh, nice.
And so we started...
that was with Brad, right?
Yeah. And so we started the hike in the complete darkness, which was kind of scary, actually.
I believe it.
And it was crazy, too, because then going down, we're like, oh, my gosh, this is what it looked like.
Right. That's crazy.
And that was great. But that was the closest I've gotten to actually... camping during a hike. The thing to me about the camping aspect in general, whether it be a hike or just going to a place and camping, is that initial investment in having the good stuff. You know,
a good tent's not cheap.
I always buy like an Amazon
basics kind of
like an Amazon sleeping bag, and then like it kind of like gets gross after
right.
like
it's not like a heavy duty. Yeah, it's not a heavy duty kind of thing.
And I'm just not willing to make that investment because I feel like I'm never going to use it.
Right. Yeah.
I will say this though. So I'm going to this place in Ohio, like it's in the woods, and it's apparently it's not.
It's a cabin.
Yeah, and
you gonna bring some weapons with you because that sounds like a scary story.
I'm always
strapped.
Yeah.
All right, good.
There we go.
Yes. Yes, nice.
And I bought I got so irrationally excited for this thing. I recently got AirPods Pro, and I'm more excited for
They're
this.
Pretty great.
I'm more excited for this cooler that I bought.
Ooh,
I bought a
okay.
Igloo. Yeti cooler. Excuse me.
Okay, not your favorite microphone brand, but a cooler.
No. And it's like a one that you carry, but it's got like it's got these cool straps, and also like it can keep stuff cold for like I don't know how long it is, but it's a ridiculous amount of time.
Okay.
But it actually it's a process.
You taking some brews
you
with
have to food. We're taking all we're gonna be there for 4 days, and we're gonna take
4 years.
Yeah,
you were about to say 4 years.
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it.
At least you better get a hotspot set up or something, so we can still do this podcast if you.
I think there is cell service, but we are trying to make a point to go cell free. You know?
Yeah, makes sense.
We're trying to have a removal from technology.
You're going to come back and there's going to be 80 topic ideas.
Oh my gosh! Listen, this is dark, but the first thing that came to mind is like who's going to be like canceled and or dead in the 4 days that I don't pay attention to social media. I'm gonna like miss people like completely. Like they're like in the 4 days they're gonna move on to someone else. They're like, oh my gosh, this person died, and then like weeks later. I'd be like, oh, that person died too. Right. It's like, yeah, that was the 4 days you were in a cabin. We were past that by the time you got back. It happened on the drive up.
That's right.
So yeah, I'm excited for that. But I got irrationally excited for this cooler, and as I was buying it, I thought like this is so expensive. Like it's not.
How much was it? Come on. You can't say it's expensive and not tell me.
I believe it was like.
Can I guess?
Sure, because then I'll pull up the exact price. I think that's about where it was.
Okay.
Let me pull up the. But like in my head,
that's still not cheap.
And let me also say, me and my partner's birthday are around the same day. And this trip is around our birthday,
right.
And so part of it was like a birthday gift for both of us as well too. So that was kind of in my head because I knew we're obviously bringing food up, and I'm like, well, we're gonna need something. We don't have anything, but yeah, it was kind of pricey. In my head, I'm like, this is so cool. I'm super excited for a freaking cooler, but how often am I gonna use this thing?
What kind of stuff do you have in the cabin? Like, do you have a stove?
Yeah, you have a stove.
Are the modern amenities there, or is it like a cabin?
I think you have modern amenities. Yeah, it's actually exactly it was $249.99, but $260 after all
tax.
The other stuff. Yeah, mm-hmm. And in my head, I'm like, and as it came to my house, and I was thinking how cool it was. I'm like, when's the next time I'm going to use this thing? After
you're
this
just
going to
have to do another one.
Well, you know, they actually on the tag it says the best and last cooler you'll ever need, and I'm like, that's very true because I'm going to use this like once every 2 to 3 years.
Hey,
but it is a nice cooler. But that's the thing is like. The investment in the good stuff is high.
Cheap.
So usually for me to have a complete trip, I need someone else. We need to collect together our collection of mediocre options. I usually have someone else that has the tent.
Right.
I have my own sleep. I actually do have a better sleeping bag that I had to buy because I did start with the Amazon one that literally on the first trip, I might as well just have. Slept on the bare ground outside. Right. It was so painful. But then also I need but there's gonna be beds and stuff. Like it's I think it's a pretty legit place. Mm-hmm. Like I think there's modern plumbing and stuff in there as well.
Not gonna be pooping outside in the outhouse.
I hope not. I hope not.
Well, good luck. I hope you have fun in the cabin. Are you planning on doing a little hiking?
I'm bringing my bike with me. That's actually really what got me started back biking hard.
Are you going to be biking by yourself?
Oh yeah, I'm on bike by myself all the time. I'm not going on any. I'm not going like on any extreme. Anything extreme. Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be in Ohio. It's not like I'm gonna be in Colorado and at the top of the Rockies. But yeah, no, it's not. I mountain bike by myself. I actually, when I lived in Philadelphia, I mountain bike by myself a lot, and that was actually a common thing I thought about. I was like, what if I injured myself? First of all, I drive a manual. If I break my leg here, I can't even drive my own car.
You're kind of done. Yeah.
I have one leg down and I'm screwed. So
at least in Philly, you have an Uber, right? Well, you're probably out in the boonies when you're doing that, right?
Yeah, but I could.
Yeah.
I'd still have to like walk to like the head of the trail.
They can't come get you at the drive up the mountain.
I guess someone would. I'm not so secluded that someone would pass me within a couple minutes at the longest.
Right. Okay, that's good.
Where are some of your
top nature places
that you've been, and then sort of where would you want to go?
Honestly, man, one that really caught me off guard.
Do you seek it out? By the way, do you seek out nature? Is that in sort of a travel goal for you?
Actually,
I think it is more for me than it is for you.
I would agree with that. Yeah, it's not really a big.
I like hiking a lot.
Right. I don't mind it. I like hiking, but I also like. I want to know I'm going to be hiking. Like, when we went on our hike in Vienna. and like,
well, that's even worse because we thought we were going to be drinking too.
Right, and that I thought was going to be a leisurely hike, and that was a much longer hike.
That must have been, what was that, like 11, 12 miles or something
Probably.
like that? Just of a casual.
Yep, 3 hour,
hilly,
3 hour walking around. Yeah, it was beautiful scenery, and it was fun.
And our 6-year-old teachers were
smoking
calm.
us.
Yeah,
right. not even sweating, and I'm just like, whoo, I was dying, man.
Yeah. Well, that's true. I mean, usually I'm prepared, but like I've always had family that lives in Colorado.
Colorado's a good one.
Not always, but since graduating college, I've had a friend that's lived there, and so we've always, whenever I visit friends there specifically, or even family, we always kind of make a point to go out and like also whitewater rafting is another good one to do.
Right.
But we always it's fun. I like it. What are some of your favorite spots?
So some of my favorite nature places have kind of happened just through like traveling and realizing like, wow, these places like have some amazing nature. Number one, and these aren't really ranked in any particular order, like what's the best or worst, but just kind of what came to my mind. Number one was Czech Republic. I think the Czech Republic has, especially where I was living.
Not expecting that. I thought you'd say Austria over Czech Republic.
Well, I said,
no specific order.
Yeah, no specific order. Just kind of what came to my mind. And the reason why I say Czech Republic is, they have some really beautiful mountains. I lived on the Czech side of the Ore Mountains. You have, I think in Czech it's Krušné hory and Kutné hory, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
German it's Erzgebirge.
I remember also Karlovy Vary.
Yep, and that's really hilly and beautiful. But the best is Czech Switzerland. That is by far some of the most beautiful scenery and nature I've ever seen. And that was also like long days. I think both of those days I got around 25 or 30,000 steps. It was crazy.
See, when I do now, I don't like a walk to sneak up on me, just like the next person. Sure, especially when you think you're going to be drinking all day. Once again,
sure.
But when you're on what do you call it? When it's on tarmac, I guess I should say, which 90%, maybe even a little more, that of our walk in Austria was, and if I have the right shoes on, which usually I would, because I knew we do some level of walking. I can go pretty much endlessly in that setting. Like I can do a good urban nature, I guess I should say, almost like even in Philly. Like I was up to walk for like a good, maybe close to that many steps that you just said, like a good 5 miles, and like I would walk along the river in the city, and if it's on like on pavement and it's not, and the challenge isn't like strenuous in the sense of like elevation changes or the fear of falling and being in a secluded spot. I can go pretty endlessly on those, and I love that. And so something like the walk in I feel like Czech Republic, I could that would be a good spot.
Yeah,
I would like that.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping to go back there. I'm really, once the borders start to open, got my passport back finally. So, and Czech Republic, you can stay there for 90 days without a visa. So not that I have 3 months I can spend there right now, but, even just like a couple weeks there, the flight's 8 hours, 9 hours ish. Not too bad. So yeah, Czech Republic is good. Another really, really big one that surprised me a lot was Bali, Indonesia, because Bali I always thought Bali, when I heard it was an island, I thought it was like going to be a small island. It's gigantic.
Is
it's
it
huge?
like a volcano island?
Well, Indonesia itself is a chain of islands that have volcanic activity.
So it's very mountainous.
Yes,
okay.
yeah. But what's so cool about Bali is you go from Ubud in the center of it. Check out some of our previous episodes, way back when, probably in the hundreds. When we were,
that doesn't even feel like it was that long ago.
I know, but when you do 2 a week,
I guess so.
You know. But anyways, so Bali is great though because you go to Ubud and you have this really green, lush. It looks kind of like a jungle almost, right? Mm-hmm. And then you go further south down to like Kuta or Denpasar, one of these places there. Then it's all beaches and like it's a bit more like Ubud's touristy, but it's a different kind of tourism. Ubud's more like spiritual and kind of relaxed, and then you go down south and it's more like party and beach and surf and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's different, but I just love the nature there because it's the rice terraces are amazing. Have you seen what those look like?
Yeah. Oh yes.
Yeah, the rice terraces are gorgeous.
One of my favorites, I would say, quote unquote nature walks has to be when I was in Tanzania. I was in Mbaya, and the reason why was because it was like a full maps off situation.
Okay.
I was in it was a city, but it was a very small city and a lot of villages. Like you could break off down these dirt roads, and I literally was just like, this was old school, like what I used to do. Whoa. Are we okay?
Yeah.
It was old school, like what I used to do back in the day, where I would. Like when I lived in Germany and I'd just bike around, I would just go down. I would just go straight and make in a matter of a full walk. I could probably walk for like an hour and a half to 2 hours and turn 4 times, But like I can. Oh, well, just M without the I.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Bless you. You can just walk and like make like 3 or 4 turns and just remember those spots. Like they're very specific spots.
Is this what it looks like?
Yeah, I guess so.
Wow, look at that.
There were no giraffes where I was.
Okay.
At least I didn't see any giraffes. Definitely no big cats where I was walking. It wasn't like it was in a village, but it wasn't like I was walking around like elephants and shit,
Right.
Oh wait. Maybe Mbaya no, that was the city. That was definitely the city. But yes,
it
was cool because I love the full maps off version of it.
My question is there a thing now as urban hiking? I wonder if that's a thing.
Urban hiking. I would say
I could see some hipster. I could totally see some hipsters wearing some hiking gear and just like walking around the city for a long time.
So one time I
put on some hipster clothes.
No. One time I went hiking, urban hiking through Philadelphia. I used to go on deep walks. I would go to far places. I would walk. I lived in Northern Northern Liberties. And sometimes I would walk all the way to West Philly.
To which John? Which John would you walk to?
That John would take a long time. Well, just think about it. Northern Liberties. So I keep saying Liberties. Northern Liberties was in the north of Philly, and I would walk all the way to West Philly.
Right.
So it was pretty intense. One time I thought, so usually I would have some sort of running shoe that I would walk in, or Sambas is good too, but those sort of wear out fast if you're doing some serious work on them like that.
You were doing some serious work.
Well, see, I just got back from the Smoky Mountains in North Carolina.
Smoky Robinsons.
And my dumbass thought, I'll just use my hiking boots.
Oh, nope.
Dude, I couldn't.
Your feet probably hurt. Yeah.
Like, by the time I got home and I took my shoes off, I couldn't walk until like the next morning. It was so painful.
It's weird how that works.
Like, these are hiking boots. I thought these were for.
But they're really good for, I think.
Dirt.
Yep. Yeah, they're designed differently. And
it's like concrete. I just walked. Yeah, that's the thing is like I just walked 6 miles or 8 miles or whatever with these on dirt, and my feet are fine.
Big difference though.
What is that?
It's the way they're designed.
I don't the way they're designed, understand it.
Yeah.
So obviously another one of my favorites would be the Smoky Mountains as well.
Okay.
That was.
I think mountains in general are a pretty solid nature place. As a Michigander though, I think another really good one would be the Great Lake Dunes.
Sand
dunes. Yeah.
But can you? I guess you can hike through the sand dune, can't you?
Yeah, I think so.
Because there's like
Pretty
woods around them. I've only really like seen sand dunes from afar. I've never like been into Sleeping Bear Dunes, for example.
That's a big one. Yeah, Sleeping Bear Dunes.
Have you like actually been deep into the dunes?
We went to the sand dunes once when I was younger. But it was a long, long time ago. That would be another good. See, once again, another good place in Michigan to visit.
You know, speaking of urban hiking, one of my favorite personal places to go for, as we call it in my house, a lawn stroll, because that's like Formula One driver Lance Stroll, but we're going for a Lance Stroll. Is in Cranbrook, the school. Just walking through there. First of all, the campus is gigantic.
Okay,
it's gorgeous. There's a mix of
campuses are nice to walk through.
There's a mix of woods to walk through, and then there's also a mix of like great architecture that you can see. It's almost like a weirdly. This is going to sound weird, but it almost kind of feels like you're in like either it's not Harry Potter school. What's the Harry Potter school?
Hogwarts.
It feels like you're in Hogwarts a little bit, or it feels like you're in like, or like it doesn't have to go that fantastical. It feels like you're in like Scotland or something, or Ireland, or
it looks like an old-fashioned building.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at U of M's campus, the law library also has that kind of Hogwarts-esque kind of look to it. Yeah. You're right though. College campuses are not always bad for like an urban stroll or an urban hike.
You really see. It's interesting that you have such good access here. My goal is I'm such a lazy exerciser that I'm always trying to find these outdoor activities. You know,
That's
I'm like
fair.
I need to find something that yes, I'm exercising, but that's not like the primary outcome. Like I play soccer in order to get myself to run. You know, like that's how I get myself to run is by running after the ball when I kick it to nobody.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so like I'm surprised that you just don't take advantage because you have great access here.
Right. Well, I do go outside and I actually do kick the soccer ball around with the dog.
Okay.
She's actually pretty good. You'd be surprised.
That's cool.
And it's fun if I juggle, she'll try to like get it out of the air. So I have to be careful.
Can you get her to like try to like bounce it back to you like Air Bud style?
She won't pass it. She'll scoot it with her nose.
Which tries to take it. She's a ball hog.
Yeah. I mean that's how most dogs are.
That's
I think.
true.
Yeah.
Air Bud was a special dog.
That's true. But yeah, I think there's a lot of great nature places. We talked about mountains, dunes. Let's see some other countries. I mean, obviously, there's so much great nature in the south of Germany as well, like Bavaria. Also, Fryeburg is gorgeous. You've never been to Fryeburg, have you?
Nope.
So the cool thing about Fryeburg is when you come in, if you come in via train, you come in and first you see woods, and then you see this city. Looks really more like almost like a fairy tale town, in my opinion. You know, you're coming on the railroad tracks, and then out of the woods and kind of down this little valley, you see the city, and it's kind of surrounded by woods.
I like
it's
that.
really well, here. I'll pull it up.
Oh yeah, we got this giant computer right in front of our face.
The big screen, baby.
So is that really what's preventing you from doing a lot of this stuff? Is that you don't want to go by yourself?
Some of it, yeah.
Would you like to go on a hiking trip with me? We can go maybe not a camping trip, but we can go hike somewhere.
That'd be fun. Yeah,
we could do that.
It's hard to see from here, but you can kind of see right here.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so for our listeners out there, yeah, I'm showing
looks
Jared.
kind of like Czech Republic, actually.
A little, well, yeah, with the color of the
red,
roofs,
yeah.
and the older, medieval and Gothic.
But then, sort of in the
buildings.
background, there's some modern skyscrapers back there.
Yeah, just a couple.
Fryeburg's not that big, is it?
No, it's really not. But see, yeah, so here you can see kind of more the mountain and stuff around it.
Yeah, the only thing how do you feel about insects? That's the only thing I don't like about.
That's the only bad
nowadays,
thing about hiking. Yeah.
There are some ferocious. I think there's a cricket in my basement right now. By the way, oh my god!
You need me to come over there and come find it for you?
I think I saw it the other day.
Okay,
but I was not quick enough to do anything about it. But the insects, especially you have these crazy insects even just in your backyard.
Yep.
You get these giant
in
wasps
the house too. Trust me.
Do you really? Yeah.
Oh yeah, spiders. All
That's
sorts
because
of stuff.
you leave the door open all the time.
Not all the time. Just
sometimes I see how much you leave the door open, and it makes me nervous. I'm very diligent on door opening and closing, which doesn't prevent insects from getting in my house because it's old.
They can they can crawl through the cracks anyways.
That's what I was saying actually about
seal
the
up
cricket.
them cracks, Jared.
I was saying I doubt this cricket even got into the house like through an open door.
Right.
It probably somehow found a way in through the basement or something.
Right. Yeah, could be. I mean, that's the thing. You just have to. I'm glad you mentioned that, though, because regardless, wherever you go on a hike or just to see nature, it is good to be aware of some of the critters that are going to be there. I know when I was in Germany in 2015 and 2016 in the summer, they had told us, be careful if you go on like a run. There were like some cornfields in some different places. And they said there are occasionally some boars there.
Really?
Yeah, occasionally.
So like an aggressive boar?
Well, they say really the only time it's a big threat is if it's a mama and her babies.
Right. Well, that's what they always say.
Exactly. Well,
a boar seems like a tough way to. Can they kill you? I mean, they can definitely kill you
for sure.
Would they kill you? I guess I should say.
Yeah, if they feel
just
threatened.
Kick you around a little bit.
I think they probably would.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess so. I mean,
and they can get pretty big. These aren't little tiny cute little piglets.
And they're wild. Yeah, exactly. They're not.
And they have tusks. I'm not sure if the ones in Germany have tusks, but I thought so. I thought they had. I don't think they're big, but still, even if it's just a little,
they have teeth. They're strong teeth and jaws.
Right. So
let's talk about nature activities. As you mentioned, I'm a fan of mountain biking.
Yep.
Oh, dude, how did I not think of this place? You want to look up places? Look up Saalbach Hinterglemm. That was the first place.
Oh, I've heard of this place before.
That was the first place I mountain biked, and we did the beginner trail, which was way above our skill level. Like, it was me, my sister, and my dad, but it was so much fun, and we could do it. But it was like, this is the beginner trail. And so it's a ski trail, but we went in, obviously not during winter.
Look at that. That's crazy.
And, there's the city. You can see the city over down there. Like, look at that one right there in the middle.
This one?
Right there in the middle. Up one.
Oh.
Right there. Left. Yeah, right there. Oh, yeah, look at that.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Yeah, that looks like what you would expect, though, for a place like this in Germany.
And it was crazy, too, because we got to the... so we mountain biked. So it was essentially, you go up one side, and you go down the other side. So it's like 45 minutes or 30 minutes, maybe, of just straight-up pedaling in the lowest gear possible.
Okay.
And then you actually get to a point where you get on a gondola, and then you go up a little bit on the gondola.
Is it difficult to get the bike on the gondola?
That's not the hard part, but then you get off because it's just the bikes are pretty light. That's sort of an important feature of a mountain bike is lightness. So even though they kind of look chunky, they're surprisingly easy to pick up, especially since we rented bikes that are honestly the bikes we rented over 10 years ago are still better than the bike that I have now.
Okay.
And then you go up a little bit further after you get off the gondola, and then there's a point where you actually have to carry it for a bit because you're on the super slippery grass, and then you go down. And so you can, first of all, it's a great, and that's what I'm always kind of looking for is like ways to like up, and not even that's really what I was looking for at the time, but I feel like now it's like, all right, how can I make this a little bit more exciting? Like, how can I make this walk a little bit more exciting? How could I and so it's like, oh, I could bike it instead, or I could bike down this mountain or instead of walk down it or something like that. And so, what about, let's think about some other activities.
Nature, yeah.
You've been to Colorado, right?
Yeah.
Or any sort of mountainy, sort of Rocky Mountain. Have you heard of alpine sleds?
I mean, I kind of know what they are, but...
they also have them in Europe, too, I believe.
Sounds fun. Already sounds fun.
They're shockingly also kind of dangerous. But this is a great... And they're always, like, in a mountain. And they have these tracks set up within a mountain. And...
Oops.
So they have these tracks set up within these mountains, and you're in these little like single-seater summer toboggan, I guess is what they call it. And it's like a little plastic thing, and essentially all you have is a brake, and you can really get going fast.
Yeah,
dude.
you could. Oh, I've been
up some
on
serious speed in these things because the only thing the only control is slowing you down.
Is the brake.
The thing is, if you even with the even slightest bit of your body,
the slightest.
Touch the surface of the what do you call that, of the trail or the track? The track is good. Yes, you'll get a burn. Like, what do you call it? Rug burn. Yes, and it'll be nasty. Like
I'll bet you're going fast.
It's shocking how little it takes to like in your head you're like, that wasn't that, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and you see people here wearing shorts. I mean, summertime. Yeah.
I mean, I was in Colorado. It was like 80 to 90 degrees outside.
Your knees gonna get all skinned up. Your shins. Ooh.
And honestly, you're
I've
not
been
really
on these before though.
They're fun though because you can really get
They
up
are
to
cool.
speed. It's up to you on how fast you go. And like you're almost not doing it right if you don't come off with at least one rug burn.
Right, that's true. Yeah,
You didn't take it to the limit.
Right. I was on one of those when I was at my cousin's wedding. This was like back in the 90s, dude. I was probably 8.
Yeah.
8 or 9, and I got on one of these. It was fun, but you're right.
And there's no protection. Like, it's shocking. Like,
I had no helmet, nothing.
If you go too fast, once again, the only control is a piece of rubber that drags on.
You're not strapped in.
If you could fly out of the track if you go too fast, theoretically.
You could hit something. Oh, it does
but
look
it's fun.
Health disclaimer.
It's actually surprising that things like this still exist because, like, it's in a weird way
not get like, sued all the time? Yeah,
exactly. I don't know how that has not happened yet.
Now,
but I think
in Europe, I don't think they sue as much as we do.
But they have them here too. I've only done it in Colorado, I believe.
Right. Same here. So let me give a couple. Now.
Yeah.
So those are good. Obviously, you have snowboarding, downhill skiing, or cross country skiing.
Mm-hmm.
I've done some snowboarding, not on any crazy mountains, really.
Really,
I've done. It would be fun to try it sometime.
The coolest place I've skied is Italy. That was cool.
That would be cool.
My school in Germany, they did ski trips.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I should have gone on more of them. I only went on one of them.
Okay.
And it was in like northern Italy, and that was actually where they spoke a weird dialect of like a mix between German and Italian.
You were in Tyrol, probably.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was really cool. And that was also another thing where I was a beginner. Like, other than Tyrol, the only other place I'd skied is Pine Knob.
Oh, yep. Okay, yeah.
And I'm like, this is quite an upgrade.
That's a little hill in Michigan, Pine Knob. So
yeah, in comparison to like a real mountain, I'm like, oh, okay, this is different.
Yeah.
But yes. So are you kind of past? Oh, I've also skied in Vermont too.
Oh, that
was fun.
Never been to Vermont.
That was a lot of fun. Although I'll say this, the thing I didn't like about Vermont is it's aggressively cold. Aggressively.
Okay.
So I haven't skied in like Colorado or stuff, but I know it doesn't actually get that cold really. Or like if you go like to the west in general, it doesn't really get that cold. But being like Vermont is just a naturally very cold place because it's so far north, and like you have to be. Like if you don't have like the proper gear, you're losing fingertips or noses. Like one of the people I was with, I didn't really know him, but I was with the group. His nose was like white.
Ooh,
and they're like, you got to go in for a bit. And that made me nervous because my fingers were constantly my fingers were always cold.
Right.
So like it was
no hand warmers.
Yeah, but those don't really. I mean, I didn't have mittens either. I had gloves.
Okay.
So you can't really get all the fingers with the. It's
Gotta
just
get
not ideal.
Some good mittens, Jared.
Dude, because you guess what jacket I was wearing?
Which one? The green one.
Yeah.
You were. Yes, that's funny.
I was wearing the same Carhartt jacket that has seen so much.
I've seen all the action. All of the action, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah,
Interesting.
definitely the winter sports. Now I'm going to give you the complete opposite.
Okay.
Where do you stand on things like water skiing, wakeboarding, surfing?
I've always wanted to wakeboard and try to windsurf as well. I've heard windsurfing is pretty difficult.
Have you never water skied?
No, actually no.
You've never water skied before?
No.
So I've done one where they have like a. This was actually in Germany as well. It wasn't actually on a lake. It was like a man-made lake, and you could hold on, and they pull you around on skis.
Cool. Okay.
It was kind of weird. I actually cut my foot really bad.
Ooh.
There was like glass in there.
Ooh.
I remember I cut my foot really bad. But anyway,
well,
I've also done it on an actual lake, but I've only done it once, and I kind of got the hang of it like at the end. But it's tiring. It's surprisingly tiring, especially if you've never done it before. And I only did it once, but I don't know. It kind of seems kind of not scary, but it seems I don't want to say scary, but it doesn't excite me. One
thing I really liked as a kid, this isn't really too much of an activity, but you are outside in nature, which is just going on a boat ride. Mm-hmm. My grandmother lived on a lake. My uncles are big fishermen.
But I would say that counts as getting into quote unquote nature.
Yeah, it's a nature activity.
And that is a Michigan and probably a Midwestern
and
pastime.
One of my favorite is a pontoon boat.
Yes.
I feel like a pontoon boat is the epitome of just chilling.
Yes.
It doesn't go fast.
Yeah.
It's not built for speed. It's not flashy, but you can fit a lot of people on
space.
there.
Yeah, get some
you can
good
just
speakers.
Relax. Yep. Bring your
lot of
fancy
seating.
Yeti cooler.
Yes.
Dude, we should get a pontoon boat.
Well, see, that's the thing about Michigan, and that's something that I love about here, especially growing up in high school and stuff, is and especially, now, I don't know how much it is out here. It's a little different out here, but at least where I lived in Metro Detroit area, you almost everyone, sort of like everyone knows someone that works at one of the big three automotive places. Everyone knows someone that owns a boat.
Oh, for sure.
Or lives on a lake.
Yep.
Has
some
access to water. Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody knows some. Like, I remember I would find myself on boats. Like, I'd go over to my friend's house, like a high school friend, and one of his neighborhood friends, like, hey, we're going over to one of my neighborhood friends' house. And next thing I know, I'd be like, I wasn't concerned, but in my head, I'd be like, whose boat is this?
Right. That's happened to me a couple times too, where you're about to get on the boat and you're like, wait, what? Is this yours? This is,
we're all children here. The oldest person here is 17. Whose boat is this?
Yeah, I don't remember what the age is now for a boating license.
A car is 16. It's probably like 15 or 16.
Yeah.
It's not hard to drive a boat, to be honest with you.
Right.
That car is way more dangerous than a boat.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
You could probably do a lot more damage with a car.
Oh, yeah. Unless you got one of those fast boats.
I don't mind swerving on water sports. I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay.
No water sport
So
really.
if you had to pick winter or summer, like water sports or like skiing, snowboarding, that kind of thing.
But see, I would choose summer.
Because of mountain biking.
But not just mountain biking, hiking too. I really like hiking too.
Okay. You can hike in the winter.
So I would choose summer for the outdoor sports, but not for water sports. Outdoor activities, but not water sports.
No, I understand. Yeah, gotcha.
Skiing, and it's way more accessible to me. Like, skiing is an ordeal. It costs.
It's expensive.
Like, it costs a lot of money. I remember when I went in Vermont, I was like, what? And I didn't even ski that much because I was scared I was going to die.
Right.
Or lose
and it's expensive.
fingertips.
Right.
And it was like, in between renting the gear and then getting the day pass, and then there's different prices depending on the level of like slope you expect to go to.
Right.
And it was just, and it adds
It's
up.
a lot.
But like going to a mountain or going to a trail is free other than the cost of transportation, which luckily we're Americans, so we all, at least all meaning you and I, have access to vehicles.
Right.
And so like it's easy to do.
Speaking of which, we got to talk some more about that at some point.
About what?
Cars.
Oh yeah. I have a bike rack, which is always fun.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's good.
Stick it on the top of my car. That's always a fun little treat.
I think that's the beauty of nature in any country you visit, is the fact that it's relatively cheap and accessible. To just get out for a day or so. That's what a lot of Czech people did. Oh, dude, I forgot to tell you about this story.
This has also been the thing since quarantine.
This is a crazy story. Let me see if I can find it real quick. There was a Czech couple that was hiking. Since lockdown and quarantine happened in the Czech Republic.
By the way, I wish you guys could see Chad's computer routine he has here.
It's ridiculous.
He has literally a 3-computer system going on where he fully requires all 3 of them, and they're very task-oriented.
Why are you telling them all my secrets, Jared? Why are you...
No, I just love it. I just love it. It's so funny to me. I'm sorry. I made all of that up just because I like to pick on him.
That is true.
I exaggerate. Are you scared?
What?
We're still recording though.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we're good.
Just
yeah,
highlighted a part of the track.
I think we're good.
I think we're good too.
Yeah,
See, that's what I told you. That's the fear of having that keyboard in front. I do that all the time. What are you pulling up again right now? I kind of forgot that we were recording a podcast.
Czech, that's good. We're breaking the wall here, Jared. That's good. This Czech couple, or I don't know if they were friends or a couple or what, but they found, right here, 3 days ago. Yeah, from archaeology.org. Here we go, Jared.
One of Chad's favorite
cache.
spots.
That's right. That's where I get my my meme news, Jared. Cache of 14th century coins discovered in Czech Republic. In Pilzen, Czech Republic reports that hundreds of 14th century coins were discovered in the western Czech Republic near the Kladruby monastery by a couple out for a walk. As they were walking through the forest, they spotted a few coins, 2 made of gold and 1 of silver, lying on the ground.
But come on, let's be real. Was that your birth? Anything?
They were probably, dug up by some forest animals, most likely wild pigs. This is a crazy story. A couple then pulled up a large stone in the ground. It even gets crazier. Large stone in the ground, found the coin cache, and alerted the authorities. The coins include gold ducats bearing the image of the Holy Roman Emperor.
Why are they so
Charles
quick to
IV.
alert the authorities? I feel like I need to figure out what's happening here first before the authorities get involved.
Yeah, Charles IV, Albrecht of Austria, and Rupert of the Palatinate. Oh, of Pfalz. Interesting. So we got northwestern Germany.
So this is a coin from this area of Europe from the 14th century.
Exactly. Oh, and then look at this. And then also ducats from the Hanseatic city of Lübeck, and then more than 300 silver groschen minted in Bohemia.
So how much were they worth? Let's get down to the brass tacks here.
Doesn't
because
say.
I get the sense that
would be worth a whole lot of money. I would imagine.
Like a good investment. I mean, not a good investment. They weren't investing in it. They stumbled upon it. But like, who's making money off of coins?
It's all about collecting, I think. Right, and for something like that, it's coins. Probably
like you sell them to a museum or something.
Exactly. I would assume something like that. You probably would.
How does that work? Is there? Because
I've always wondered that.
I'm sure there's a lot of ethics, especially if you're just you're not even like a scientist. You're just some bystander that finds
these
something.
People. What if they just came to a museum? They're like, all right, we found these. We want $5 million for them.
I'm sure there are plenty of instances of stuff just being straight up stolen.
Yeah, probably.
And be like, oh yeah, we found this. Oh, we're gonna hold on to it, and then we'll get back to you on what we owe you. And then
I wonder though too if they've. I would like to hear more about this because this is a fairly new story. But I'm wondering
this is like some National Treasure 3 shit.
Right. No kidding. I wonder though if these were fake. What if they're fake coins? Like what are the odds of this, man?
Making up that they found coins in general?
Well, no, I'm saying what if someone placed those coins as like a prank? Like they were like we're going to put some kind
of like a $2.
Yeah, kind of.
On Albion's campus, there was a quarter that was super glued to the pavement.
Exactly.
That I probably went to pick up 4 times.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Whereas this, you know what I mean? Because it's like, what? I guess I just feel like the odds of this have to be. Now, they did say, but once again, being dug up, why would pigs dig up gold coins?
But pigs are used to find truffles and stuff. I think pigs have a very good sense of smell.
Right.
And that it's just in their nature to maybe something that smells odd that they're going to figure out. And then once they figure out that they can't really eat it, they just all right, whatever.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, but isn't that a crazy story?
Yeah.
My whole point, though, is...
I mean, it's weird that they would go to, it's probably a pig. That wouldn't be my first guess if they were... I think, I don't know, maybe we rained and I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not a scientist.
But it's hard to say, too, what the scene looked like, too.
Sure.
Sure. But yeah, it's a crazy story. But yeah, I mean, hiking is obviously... A lot of nature activities, the beauty of it is, you just go outside. You only have to really invest in maybe some equipment. If you're biking, which can be expensive, or if you're camping, which
I've been
can
using
also
the
be
same
expensive.
bike since senior year of high school.
Nice.
So, I mean, actually junior year of high school. I mean, it's not great, but it works.
Gets the job done. That's all that matters, for sure.
I enjoy the feeling of being, the sore feeling. I enjoy that. So after a big hike or even after a mountain bike, that soreness feels like you did something, It's sort of like the justification you need to be like, okay, I actually did do something here. This wasn't just a leisurely walk. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really nice too just to get your body moving. I think it gives you some clarity, some peace of mind.
Yeah. Are you would you be if you were going on a hike, say in the mountains somewhere, would you be a headphones in or out person?
Out. If I'm out in nature by myself, actually either way, if you're not by yourself, it's kind of antisocial. Yeah. And see, that's the thing. What I would do is I would take my old AirBuds, not even my AirPods, but old AirBuds, so I can still hear what's going on around me.
What I would like if you were with maybe one other person, AirPod, and you each get one AirPod.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
But I'm also, me, I'm a slave to the headphones.
That's true.
I always need. I don't listen to music a lot, but I always need I always need some form of media being forced into my head,
Right, that's always good.
And so I'm gonna go from these headphones to my car.
Are you gonna headphone it? Are you gonna headphone it when you go to the cabin in Ohio?
Well, no. I did throw out the idea of...
Are y'all going no technology, nothing?
Well, see, that's what I don't think we fully decided on, because I did throw out the idea of, I have an old iPod Touch, and I threw out the idea of, loading it up with music and just using that. I think
that's not a terrible idea.
Right, because we don't have to live in... We're not going on some
back to the Stone
ultimate
Ages
meditation trip,
right. You could.
It's just trying to get away from social media, really. And so I did float that by... But I don't know. We'll see.
Jared's going to come back with all these retweets and me just saying ridiculous shit while he's gone.
I would love for you to get involved in social media. Yeah, I've been meaning to talk to you about that. What is it with you and it's really Instagram, where like there'll be maybe a DM will be happening, and by the way, I like to have you do it because I hate having conversations with people really. So I always like to have you do it.
Unless it's in podcast form.
But sometimes you won't someone will DM and then you won't respond. And I'm like, all right, Chad won't respond. I'll give it a day or two, so I'll respond, and then you'll just take over halfway through.
Should I not? I'm just trying to help you.
I guess so. I would like a heads up or something.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. You're right.
It was just it's always
that's
just surprising.
That's the tricky thing with two people on one account.
That's true.
Know?
But that's the thing where I did think
that's why I stay off of our Twitter.
A little part of me was like, well, why complain? Because I do want him to actually do all the communication like that.
Right.
But
I kind of like it.
But then, but the original, the reason why it's weird to me is because the original message that came in, I gave it like 2 days. And you never responded to the original
I didn't realize
message.
it. I didn't.
And I was like, all right, so he's not going to respond to the original one. And then all of a sudden, so I was like, oh, so we have a podcast. And I was like, oh, I didn't even notice that had happened.
Right.
But it doesn't, once again, it doesn't bother me because I don't want to do the conversation.
Well, some of it too is it depends on if you saw it. If I saw it, I don't always see. I should be more.
Well,
should be more vigilant on looking at our.
I have a
page.
problem. I have a. I don't go to our podcast one all the time, but it's connected, so I could see.
Right.
And I'm always. This is exactly why I'm going to the woods to disconnect because
it's good.
I can't
it's good
not
to
see
disconnect.
stuff.
Right. It's hard nowadays.
Yeah.
Work.
You're
work
better
at a
at
screen.
it than me, though. I feel like I'm more of an addict than you.
I purposefully do now because I realize, like I've talked about in previous episodes, I was on my phone too much, and so now I'm playing a lot more guitar. And I've been busy with work and trying to learn a lot of new stuff. But yeah, I agree though. I think the beauty of any nature trip, regardless of what country it is, if you go to the Czech Republic, if you go to Italy to ski or to hike or whatever, I think the key is definitely for me to provide myself with kind of a change of pace, some serenity, a variety as well. Change it up a little bit. So I think it's good you're doing that. I think it's really good.
Yeah, and I've been finding spots around Michigan too. Like I've been going to a whole bunch of metro parks, which is a whole theme of parks. I'd never heard of.
There's tons of them. Yeah, there's tons of them.
And I'm like, metro parks.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I love it. Get into nature and stay hydrated.
That is true. Definitely stay hydrated. Do we have anything else to add in terms of nature today, Jared?
We don't have a song of the pod. We never came up with a song of the pod.
No songs this week. Yeah, that's all right. No songs this week. Good. Well, I guess I will say this though. If I can think of like a one word when I associate with like any nature trip, I think for me is going to be, and you can tell me your word too if you want. Mine is definitely, I would say like, actually not a word, but this is more of a phrase, but peace of mind. I think when I think back to my trip in Bali, for example, right? I had so much going on that was negative, right? I had just lost my job. I had just been separated, from my girlfriend at the time. It was just all these different things going on at once, right? Like the pandemic had just started. I really had no idea what was going to happen, right?
Yeah.
And so, but me being there and just walking around and even just sitting on the beach, I think chilling on the beach is also technically a nature thing. You're outside,
for sure, for sure.
And it just provided me with this sense of just calm and serenity. And I think if I would have gone just straight from China back here, it's just such a big adjustment. Whereas that was like a nice little in between, going from my life in China as I knew it to my life in the U.S. now as it is,
Yeah.
And so I think nature can be a great thing if, like, I saw this really funny picture online where this person like texted their mom and said, I'm feeling sad or I'm not feeling, good. And she said, maybe you should go sit outside and have a banana. And like, I think that the person who texted their mom, they were like our age. So like in their 20s.
Right. Yeah.
But like, I thought about it and I'm like, you know what? That's not actually terrible advice.
Yeah, I do that a lot because I work from home now.
Right. Well, sometimes it's nice to just sit outside, get some sunshine, get that vitamin D, as they say. So
especially now, they apparently vitamin D is good for the immune system.
Fight that Rona, man.
That vid coming.
That's right.
You.
What was the Irish one from last week? Don the.
that dose is going around.
The dose.
Yeah.
Gotta avoid the dose, man. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's also the thing about the nature thing is that's one of the best ways to avoid the dose.
Yeah.
Is just being outside.
And I think people, unless people are littering, like, being terrible out there, I do think that it's good that
makes
people
me so mad.
Right. But I do think it's good that people are getting outside more, walking around, being more active. I hate to really. You don't think so?
Well, I agree. But it kind of ruins it a little bit for me personally, only because part of the fun is sort of feeling like you're getting away.
But it depends where you go. And I think at least we're fortunate in Michigan. There are plenty of places within driving distance where you can kind of get away.
Sure.
Sure. Whereas, some people like in China, it can be
But I would argue we don't have the best place. I would argue now it's better than if you live in like a city like Beijing, sure.
Right.
But I'm thinking if we're thinking globally, then yeah, maybe we're lucky as far as being in Michigan. But I would say in the U.S., I don't think we're particularly lucky as far as our what we have.
You don't think so?
I mean,
all
besides
the
for the lakes,
great national parks we have.
Besides for the lakes, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking.
Have you been to Yellowstone?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Michigan.
Sorry.
I'm saying I don't think us in Michigan. I'm saying I think the West Coast. Like that's what I'm saying. Colorado, California, or like Southern California. Oregon,
right?
The West Coast in general. I feel like these places seem to have so much better access to actual, or even like the East Coast for that matter. Like where the Appalachian Trail. Like I just feel like we don't have really access to any real mountains. We have hills and woods.
I feel like here it's hills, woods, rivers, and lakes. Yeah, that's what it really is here. Once again, different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, I miss the mountains. I like
the mountains are nice. I mean, I really liked. I mean, you visited me in the Czech Republic. I loved my view every morning. Seeing that in the background.
Did you? Was it easy for you to go? Oh, did you like to go on like nature walks if you wanted to? Did you have access to that kind of thing?
I went a couple times. Yeah, a couple times with colleagues. And that's that. I thought for some odd reason, dude, through the headphones, I thought it was a cell phone ringing. Like that iPhone sound. Anyways. But yeah, in the Czech Republic, it was very accessible to do that. And a lot of Czech people enjoy going
they take it seriously.
Yeah, they do. They really do, which I think is great. And and look, I will tell you right now, you do not see a ton of out-of-shape people in the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
Especially a lot of younger people. They're in good shape. And it really makes me sad to see, how many people in the States are just not taking care of their health. That's the thing. If body image, I don't really care. If you're happy with yourself, that's fine. But are you healthy? And some people who are a little heavier are healthy. I'm not saying that if you have a little bit of flub on you, that you're unhealthy or you're lazy or anything. But I do think that the beauty of having good nature around you is the ability to get out there and move around and take care of your mental health and your physical health, because I think that really helps.
I think you really summed it up for me with the peace of mind thing, because that's something I guess I never even really thought that deeply about. But like even when
you'll come back rejuvenated from your trip, I think.
That's part of the, but to me that's also part of like the headphones thing, is like it's sort of like this full zone out from the world. All I'm focusing on is this one thing. And even though, especially the mountain biking, like it's exhausting, it is very like freeing.
Yeah,
and it's you're so focused on not breaking your leg, that there's nothing else to think about.
Right. Well, headphones are also nice if you're doing a sport, because it can pump you up, hype you up.
Yeah.
But I would encourage you.
There's some people that do say that it's almost sort of like a not false, because it does happen, but like it's like a cheat a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I love it every morning when I lift. If I don't have my speaker down there, you better believe my headphones are on.
Yeah.
I don't lift without music. I could, but it's just so much better with music. You know? But I will urge you to do this, Jared, when you go on your trip. I will urge you, not necessarily mountain biking, because that's more of a physical thing, but if you go on a walk or something, or just one day, I encourage you, just go outside. I'm going to sound like a crazy hippie here, but just go outside and just
smell the earth, man.
Yeah, and enjoy the sounds of nature, Jared. You just want to make sure you really, because I know it sounds cheesy, I know it sounds corny, but like there's just something really nice and tranquil about being out there and kind of hearing the birds. Like that's the one thing.
Well, see, now I have AirPods where I can go full silence on the outside world. You're gonna have to
find a bird song playlist on YouTube or something.
Since I've had these AirPods, I've never owned. Now
Change your life.
I've obviously heard. No, not really, not yet at least, because I haven't gone anywhere outside of. But I mean, they're nice.
They are nice.
They haven't changed my life yet because I haven't traveled or anything yet.
Right.
But I've never really owned noise canceling headphones.
It's a game changer, isn't it?
It really opens your mind to how much noise is around you.
Yeah.
Because when you turn them off, there's like a rush of noise coming in, and it's like, whoa.
Weird. I always had to be careful, and I would take mine off when I would be on a plane.
Yeah. Oh, especially on a plane because it's just that background engine hum that you get. Yeah.
Yep. But it helps a lot, I think.
Especially that sort of consistent drone is exactly what it's really made for.
Right.
And so
but that's a weird thing, at least with my Beats, the noise canceling ones. If I would take a cab in China and I would usually have them on, if the window was open, that air coming through would kind of mess up the noise canceling somehow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it would sound really weird.
That's the thing with the bike. When I'm biking, I usually don't do noise canceling because if there's any sort of gap, you get like that whistle.
Yep.
And yeah, well, there you go. And but yeah, it's been I don't know if it's a game changer yet, but I could see how it could be. I could definitely see how it could be. But there is something almost bothersome to me about shutting the world off with the noise canceling.
Right.
And so I don't think I'd ever want to do that in the woods, even if I did have headphones on.
Right.
Especially I wouldn't cut it out that much.
Especially with physical activity, I think you have to be really careful for sure.
Yeah. And I think you actually like. When there is something to like with balance, I think there is something to like hearing. It's part of your balance.
It is. Well, if you get vertigo, which affects your balance, it's an inner ear thing, I'm pretty sure.
That's true. Yeah.
So I agree 100%.
And so like kind of like having that, even though you're listening to music, I feel like having that sense cut off from like the realities of the world.
Well, I don't,
especially if biking.
I imagine too, even running with ear canceling, noise canceling would be not ear canceling, noise canceling. It would be weird kind of because I like to hear my feet hit the ground. You breathing, even hearing your body and you breathe feels different.
Well, as I've been playing soccer, I do listen to podcasts, and I always do the transparent mode. I never, which is like the
you can hear,
because if you actually just have them in off mode, you can't really hear much either because it's like a plug. You kind of got to stick them deep in there.
Right.
So I do. So when I'm doing physical activity, I like to have the noise come in too because it feels like I almost feel like I get tired quicker when I can't hear the outside world.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's just a whole different experience. Yeah. I think for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah. Absolutely. So let us know some of your favorite nature spots. Hit us up at untranslatablepodcast@gmail.com. You can slide into those DMs on Twitter, Untranslatable1, the number 1. Also, check us out on Instagram, Untranslatable Podcast, and you can find a lot of other great pics and clips and other stuff. And we did a collab last episode with Amarens from Foreign Language Collective and Untranslatable.co. Check that out as well because it's a lot of great content, and we know you will enjoy it.
Battery died.
Oh, gotcha. So anyways, we appreciate all of you out there listening. We really appreciate your support. And as we say here at the Untranslatable Podcast, Dziękujemy, muchas gracias, shisha, and do svidania.
Yeah, man.
That's right. All right. Yeah, sorry about that phone call, man.
That's okay.
Yeah, my